Hello everyone, it's Isaac Ebosho, your instructor for this course, English 2500, Section 59, and English 2500, Section 60. In this video, I'm going to go over a course orientation, how you can understand the way this course is arranged, organized, and prepared for you. To my left, we have the essential tabs, which you should be checking. The announcement tab, the assignment tab, the modules tab, the grades tab, the discussion tab, and the people tab is if you want to email or reach out to someone. Now, you are also advised to look at what the information, the to-do information to the extreme right of the screen. If you are the forgetful type, you would have reminders, and for instance, we can see course orientation survey, which is due on August 25. Discussion, meet your peers, meet your classmates, which is due on the 27th. So you got a few more things to do. So make sure you're looking at the instructions, so you know what you need to turn in and what you need to submit. In saying this, I want to emphasize that the announcement tab, which I just clicked on, is where you find information concerning the course. So every week I will send out an announcement, and it will be followed up by the video in which I review the lessons, the assignment, and other essential details that you need to know for the week. The announcement is something that you should get in your email box. When I send the announcement, so you should be checking your email box. Another thing you need to know is the assignment tab. The assignment tab is where you will find instructions for the assignment, anything you need to turn in. If you don't see something, it's because maybe from the instructor's end, it's not being permitted for you to see. So I try to make things visible so that you don't get overwhelmed. I don't need to show you everything that is due for the rest of the semester. What you need to know is things that are due for the next 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks. Let's start from there so that it's not overwhelming for you to see all that you have to turn in. Another important tab which you need to check is the modules tab. The modules tab is where you find essential links, information. Let's start with the syllabus. The syllabus contains instruction for the course. This is the direction. More so, this goes over policies and expectations in the course. So when you click on syllabus, you should see this information on your screen. Now, I always tell my students that if you have a syllabus, one thing you can do, if you are a Mac user, Command P to print and save electronic copy of the syllabus, so that if you have any questions about the course, you can always refer back to it. This contains information about the objectives, required course text, and required technology skills. You also going to have reading quizzes. Yeah, I say it again, reading quizzes. So make sure you're doing the reading, because you can't attempt these quizzes if you don't do the reading. There will be peer review, there will be research, rhetorical analysis, a research project, and a multimodal argument, design and presentation. And this is what the learning activities grading weight looks like, 20%. Rhetorical analysis, 20%, research project, 20%. Your multimodal argument, that is 30% of your grade. And this is what the rubric looks like. You know what an A looks like, and you know what an F looks like. So this should inform you how I'm going to grade. Now, to get an A, you need at least 93% to 100, and that's the range. I didn't determine this, but the ISC Foundation curriculum determined this. Late work policy is, you can be assured, I will enforce this policy. If you do have accommodations, you should let me know. I know those of you who applied for accommodation. I've probably been contacted. I've been contacted by the Access Office for Disability. So we would have to talk and to discuss what sort of accommodation and how we're going to implement that your accommodation. So if you're in the category who applied for accommodation from the ADS office, you need to reach out to me so we can determine what works for you. Participation guideline. I think this is clear enough. Expectations for online behavior. Statement on the use of AI. Yes, it's a big topic. It's a big conversation. I repeat, many of you are probably using AI. Since I do research on AI, I know lots of students are using it. That doesn't mean that all students are using it. So, since I'm interested in this conversation, I will have some activities regarding AI in this course. As a matter of fact, in the first week, I have a questionnaire survey. You just have to complete it, and it's 10 points. I want to understand what you know about AI and using it to create multimedia contents. As I look at the syllabus, there are also important sections such as religious accommodation, free expression, mental health and well-being resources, and academic success center. The library is also available to you to use at your disposal. There are resources such as if you need a writing tutor to improve your writing. This is your email right here. Okay, so that's that on the syllabus. I don't need to read everything, but I strongly encourage you to download a copy of this. If you're a Mac user, it's Command P and then print. You can save one for yourself electronically so that you can always refer back to it. I always tell my students, a syllabus is like a guide. It's like it's like a GPS. It tells you how this course is going to proceed. But more importantly, there are policies that I have to follow in the syllabus. And when I enforce policies, I will always refer back to the syllabus. So make sure you're reviewing the syllabus. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the module tab. So the module tab is an essential tab you should always check. We also, in here under course orientation and resources, we have the course schedule. So the course schedule is how you can determine what is due. Now let me say this. Everything on the course schedule does not represent everything that will be in the class. Of course, there are activities which I've added. So you should always be looking at the course schedule in anticipation of major projects. But for low stakes activities, which I will have in this course, you may not find them on the course calendar schedule. Of course, I can edit the course calendar to add that, but it'll just be tedious and it'll make it longer. So make sure you're checking the course schedule every week. Again, Command P to print. Have a copy of this saved, printed out in your file folder, so you can know how this course is progressing or moving along. Okay, let's go back again to the modules tab. One link that I really recommend you check out is Meet Your Instructor. So here contains details about my schedule, my email. I will update this to reflect office hours, but here is a self-introduction video which I recorded. I'm just telling you a little bit about myself. You can also find out more information about me by clicking on home. This has information about office hours. We're going to be using WebEx. WebEx is approved by Iowa State University. So if, say for instance, you have an appointment with me, this is the link to click on to join the meeting at the assigned time. Now, since this course is a 2-section course online, I'm going to prioritize students in my 2500, section 59, on Mondays from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Then, if you are in my virtual course, 2500, section 60, my office hours is 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Please make sure you reach out to me at least, I would say, 12 hours in advance so that I can arrange for a meeting with you. I do have a schedule, and it's nice to let me know that you want to see me. Send me an email to initiate this. Of course, since these are I could be strict about the time, but I'll be flexible to the extent that you are flexible. So just because I have all these time slots for possible dates for you to meet with me doesn't mean I cannot go beyond that time. I just want to say that you'll be flexible if you expect me to be flexible, and I promise you I will be flexible. But are you going to be flexible? Because I don't need to meet at this specific time. But also I'm a PhD student, so I have other activities, projects that I'm working on, so I need to manage my time wisely. Okay, you can start off by checking the course orientation resources. Okay, and so on and so forth. Let's go back to modules again. Okay, so once you go over modules, you need to know something about immediate access, which is where you find information about the course textbook. So what happens when I click on immediate access? There's a digital so this is where you find information for the course textbook that you need. So you can decide to launch courseware. Okay. The textbook is everything is an argument. So Macmillan Learning, this is available online. Okay. So make sure you go over this link. I don't want to click it now since I'm still recording. I don't want to change my screen. So again, back to the modules tab. Again, the modules tab is an essential tab. You want to take a look at Achieve ebook, again, which is where you can find the course textbook. As I've mentioned, immediate access is another way, vital source. I don't want to complete this because I'm recording. So I trust that you guys will figure this out when you play around with the resources here. Now for the first week, you want to make sure that you go over all the contents here. This is graded, and when it's graded means that you have to complete it. This is our first week. Of course, I understand some of you are still settling. If for some reason you don't make it by the deadline, I can promise, I try to be flexible with students in the first week. But after the first week, I'm going to be strict when it comes to deadline. So because I understand you guys are still you're still fitting into the course, settling into the course, it's going to take you time. So I'm not going to be very strict about deadlines for the first week. That's not to say that you shouldn't apply your best effort. Grades is where you will find your grade in the course. You will get an email when I release the grades. People is when you, okay, so that's if you want to contact your peers, there's a way to contact your peers. There's a lot of contents in this on this page. I encourage you to follow these instructions. You can start here: syllabus, modules, and schedule. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me using this email. If you need to meet with me to discuss maybe a certain aspect of your participation in this class, you can reach out to me for an appointment. And once again, the modules tab is probably the most critical tab you need to be coming to back and forth. And you can give you a preview of what you can expect in this course. Like I said, the schedule gives you a perspective of what you can expect toward the end of the semester, but there'll be activities in our online class. Now, I've reached the end of my course orientation. What do you think about this course orientation? Do you have any questions? Is everything clear? Do you know how to navigate this course? I personally think that this is intuitive. You just need to play around with it. But if for some reason something is not clear, you don't know how to navigate this course shell, reach out to me via email. Maybe I'll have to record another video. Until then, I want to say welcome to this course. It's a pleasure to have you. I look forward to getting to know you. You get to know me as your instructor. One video is not enough to tell you everything I am doing or about me, and you get to know me when you interact with me. And okay, so I look forward to reading your first essay, your first activities that you complete. Bye-bye.